I don't think Crawford's going to put him away, and I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for. And I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down.
Consistent with Terrence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injury.
Early on, very close rounds in the first 3 or 4. We'll be divided on who's winning. I think Canelo will get going in the second third of the fight and land some big shots. I think Crawford will look good as well. Rounds 6 to 9, we'll be looking at who's getting ascendancy in the fight. Crawford will have weathered the storm of the big Canelo punches, countered himself, still close rounds. I think Canelo will push away and, in my view, will win the fight. Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away, and I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for, and I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down, and if he does go down, he'll get up. I think it'll be a very, very close affair, and I think even if in those last 6 rounds, Crawford's got Canelo's number in terms of movement and timing, I still think if it's very close in rounds, I think it'll either be a draw or a narrow points decision for Saul Canelo Alvarez that everybody feels is very controversial, and then they'll do it again. That's how I see it playing. That's the plot, if you like, with the subplots in the drama of one of the biggest fights we've seen in Vegas.
Triple G's former trainer said that Crawford's gonna be quick in the first 4 rounds, but once Canelo figures him out and actually starts hitting Terrence Crawford, in which Sanchez described as, quote, like a huge truck hitting him, it'll be game over for Terrence Crawford. He explained that Crawford may not have the legs for someone like Canelo in the 168-pound division. Sanchez also added that if Canelo was eventually going to be Crawford's endgame, then Crawford should have jumped weight divisions a while back. Now, Crawford could have technically done that after the Spence fight. However, his once-a-year fight schedule prevented that from happening.
Solitary training camp and in every single solitary fight, a guy that is as old as Terrence Crawford, 37, 38 years old, is going to have some type of injuries. They're going to have some type of old nagging type of stuff, especially a guy that works as ridiculously hard as Terrence Crawford does. That was just a matter of time before wear and tear is going to start going and things are going to start popping off and going wrong, right? Also, you can tell that the reason that this is kind of consistent with Terrence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries and gives his body time to heal up. And as a result, okay, he's ready to go during fight time. So I wouldn't put too much on this. I would say though that if you're a gambling person, man, you should probably want to keep your money in your pocket for this particular fight, man, because this thing can absolutely positively go either way with between the two of these guys. Canelo Alvarez is an exceptional fighter, much bigger than Terrence Crawford is, or been fighting at a much bigger weight class than Terrence Crawford's been fighting at, and much more experienced at that level at 168 pounds. But Terrence Crawford is just such a superb fighter and such an intelligent fighter in there that you can know that he's going to be coming there to fight, and he's got a significant chance to win that fight. Unless, of course, that injury is real. I mean, and it is significant and is preventing him from, really sitting down on his punches, because he's going to have to at a point in time with Canelo Alvarez is going to have to do something to get him up off.
You're stepping into the ring against a fighter who's ruled the higher weight classes for years. You've heard the talk. that you're too small, too late in your career, and that this challenge might be one too far. But none of that matters once the bell rings. You've spent months preparing your body for this. Every pound added was intentional. You didn't bulk just to look the part. You built muscle to keep your speed, your timing, your balance. And now the question isn't whether you've gained enough weight. It's whether you can carry it for 12 brutal rounds. As the fight starts, you know the early rounds are yours to take. You're faster, sharper, more unpredictable. You use angles, you feint, you jab with purpose. You have to, because once Canelo settles in, you're in deep water. You're not worried about his record. You're not chasing a perfect legacy. You're here because you believe your skill beats his strength.
An unbeatable fighter. That's fine. None of us are really unbeatable, right? But people got to understand this. Canelo Alvarez is not an unbeatable fighter. The question is, whoever he's fighting, we don't question what Canelo's going to do, right? We question what his opponents are going to do, right? It's not even really about Canelo. Canelo's going to show up as Canelo Alvarez, right? Ginger boy. So the question is, are you going to beat him? And are you going to beat him today? Like when fight night happens, is it you and is it now? You ready to beat him now? He's not unbeatable. Maybe you can beat him, but are you going to do it? And are you going to do it now? You feel me? You know? Because I thought Danny Jacobs was going to have a way better performance.
Danny actually performed well against Canelo, but he didn't take any chances. He was doing just enough to not get beaten.
And Canelo was feeling himself. Canelo had preparation. He had that head movement, losing to Floyd, this and that. He fought some flat-footed fighters. He got used to getting his head here and there and ducking down and then pulling out and spinning out and little tactics. I've never seen somebody make Danny Jacobs miss so many punches. It was highly impressive. I did not expect that, you know, because of the amateur pedigree growing up with Danny Jacobs. I know exactly what kind of New York fighter he is.
With that said, they're going to face off in an epic showdown. And the big talk, obviously, is the size difference, right? That Canelo Alvarez is much bigger than the smaller Terrence Bud Crawford, who is essentially coming up from 147 in the minds of many. But really and truly, he's coming up from 154 because he actually had a fight at 154, a titled opportunity, his only fight at 154 last August when he took on Israel Madrimov, okay? And he beat Israel Madrimov unanimous decision to become a 4-division champion. But as you see here in this photo, there's not a big size difference. And actually, obviously, we know Terrence Crawford stands at 5'8", got a 74-inch arm reach. Canelo stands at 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach. There's not a massive size difference at all whatsoever. Now, clearly, as you see, Terrence Crawford clearly has on what looks like Balenciaga shoes, and we know they are extremely big shoes, and they make you slightly taller. And Canelo Alvarez has on flats. The thing here is, the more important thing is, not if Terrence Crawford can take Canelo Alvarez's punches. It's not if Terrence Crawford, is going to get bullied around the ring. The concern with the weight is how Terrence Crawford carries it himself. Does he start to fatigue in the second half of the fight? Should he get to the second half of the fight?
Yeah, he can move a little bit, but yeah, he likes to come forward with that power. But you put him on his back foot. Let me tell you similar too. Remember, you know this guy named Usyk who put Fury on his back foot? Yeah, push the pace on him. Yeah, with volume, feints. Put Canelo on his back foot, Crawford. That's what you got to do. You got to put him on his back foot. Hell to the damn yeah. That's how you get it done, man. That's one aspect that you're going to have to do. And hey, I would advise you to do it as early as damn possible. Do it as early as possible because guess what? If you do that, you're going to get control right away of the judges, right? They're going to be looking at you. You're going to dictate the pace. You're going to dictate the flow of the fight. He got to have him react to you, not you reacting to him. That's how you gain control of the fight real quick, real soon. Get active with that jab. You don't necessarily...
But you also know this. One mistake, one lapse, and he'll make you pay. His shots come with weight. His experience shows in the moments between exchanges will be where timing and patience win fights. If you're going to win this, you can't let him dictate. You must own the tempo, force him backward, and never let him breathe. You have to trust your conditioning, your camp, and your instincts. The work is already done. Now it's about execution. This isn't just about belts or bragging rights.
You have to come out in the southpaw stance. You can come out in the orthodox stance. You know, what's the punch that always hits Canelo all the time? Easy work, the jab. Triple G was able to land his jab over and over. Floyd Mayweather was able to land his jab over and over. Bivol was able to land his jab over and over. You control him, you push him back, you walk forward. Anytime Canelo give you an inch going back, you take that inch going forward. That's how you gonna get this done. You gonna have to be brave, my man, Crawford. You gonna have to be brave. You gonna have to be on your P's and Q's when you walking forward as well, because he will snap back. He will snap back with them left hooks, right hands to the body, or looping right hands over the top, or even straight right hands. Sometimes he might even come with a two-piece combination. But you got to put him on his back foot as often as possible, man, with your how cerebral you are, with your feints, with your movement, snapping that jab.
Very good at kind of holding fighters, putting his weight on them. You're a big boy for 168, Al, so how did he manage and cope with that when you kind of picture Canelo doing that to him?
Nah, he's strong. That man is strong. He's strong. So I don't think he'll have a problem, you know what I'm saying, with that.
What do you think, from your takeaways from that sparring, is the key for Terence to defeat Canelo Alvarez?
Just use his skills. I think he has the better skills, and I'd say just box him, you know what I mean? Just box him the whole night.
Given your experiences with him, and as you mentioned, you know, he's strong in those sparring sessions, do you have no doubts then that when he's in there at 168, he'll feel fully fledged and capable of performing for those 12 rounds?
Yeah. For 37 years old, like, he's training like he's like 25. Like, I don't think there'll be no problem at all with the fight.
What do you think he has to be mindful of that Canelo can produce? What do you think he has to be wary of in that fight?
Power. That's it.
A fighter can do when he's trying to gain 10 pounds to fight at another weight class is hit the weights, up your protein and things of that nature. I saw the man eat. The man is eating brilliantly. You know, he's doing it all right. And that's what I meant when I said, you know, when he decided to take on this challenge and Canelo Alvarez, it takes a good 2 years to successfully put on 10 pounds, along with successfully putting on 10 pounds to get your body to acclimate to that weight, right? So when people talk about him being out of the ring for 13 months, they really have to also accept they have to understand that he's been working and training for everything that he needs to do on fight night against Canelo Alvarez.
So you saw him in camp as he was building and putting that weight on, and you said that you think he's doing it right. From what you saw then from training, do you think he's carrying the weight well then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw it in his legs. I could see it in his arms and his shoulders, and it's distributed evenly. You'll get a lot of guys who are bottom heavy. You know, they don't have much on the top half. So once you get to the inside, they don't have a lot that they can do with you from this standpoint. I know a lot of people are concerned with Canelo Alvarez. Should he get in close? What's the strength situation going to be like? Well, Crawford's put on the right muscle mass in the chest area, in the ab region, and in the arms and things of that nature. I think he's going to be able to handle the strength.
This is about rewriting the narrative, proving that greatness isn't bound by weight or age. You've climbed divisions, silenced critics, and mastered every style thrown at you. But now you face the final question. Can you outthink, outfight, and outlast Canelo Alvarez? Only one way to find out.